Imagine standing at the edge of a financial shift so powerful that it quietly redraws the global map, not with headlines, not with noise, but with intent. Most people never see these moments coming. They wake up one day and realize the center has moved, and they were watching the wrong direction the entire time. Tonight, I want you to forget everything you think you know about where money lives, where power concentrates, and how the future of finance is decided. Because something is happening, not loudly, not recklessly, but deliberately. And when decisions are made at this level, they don't make the news immediately. They make history later. There is a city that understood this before the world did. A city that didn't wait for permission, didn't copy old models, and didn't ask to be included. Instead, it built quietly, planned patiently, and prepared for the moment when global capital would start looking for a new home. That moment is now. This is not a story about luck. It's not about hype. It's about conviction. The kind of conviction that moves billions without making a sound. While most people chase trends, real power positions itself early. While others debate the future, some are already operating inside it. What you are about to hear is not speculation. It's not a theory. It's a signal sent by those who never speak unless the numbers are certain and the strategy is clear. When institutions of this scale make a move, it's never about today's market. It's about the next decade. So stay with me, because by the time this story becomes obvious to everyone else, the opportunity will already be gone. The question is simple. Will you understand the shift while it's happening, or only after it's too late? Expansion is never about geography alone. It is about mindset. It is about recognizing where the future is forming before it becomes obvious to everyone else. When we look at the global financial map today, the old centers still matter, but the next era is being shaped elsewhere. In cities that move faster, think longer, and execute without hesitation. Dubai is one of those cities. For decades, global finance followed a predictable pattern. Capital flowed through the same corridors, talent clustered in the same postcodes, and innovation often arrived slower than markets demanded. That world no longer exists. Capital is more mobile, opportunities are more global, and success now belongs to those who can operate seamlessly across borders and time zones. Expansion, therefore, is not optional. It is essential. Opening a presence in Dubai is a strategic decision rooted in reality, not optimism. The city has deliberately built an ecosystem that understands global capital, clear regulation, institutional-grade infrastructure, and a government that treats financial markets as a long-term national priority. This is not accidental growth, it is engineered progress. When an environment aligns ambition with execution, serious institutions take notice. Dubai sits at the crossroads of the world. Markets wake up in Asia, mature in the Middle East, and close in the United States, and this city connects them all. That matters. It matters for liquidity, it matters for responsiveness, and it matters for risk management in an era where volatility does not wait for office hours. Being present here means being closer to the flow of global capital, closer to emerging opportunities, and closer to the decisions that shape tomorrow's markets. But expansion is also about people. Talent follows momentum, and momentum follows opportunity. Dubai has become a magnet for highly skilled professionals, traders, technologists, risk managers, individuals who are global in outlook and uncompromising in standards. An office here is not just a location. It is a platform to attract and empower world-class talent that wants to operate at the highest level without the constraints of legacy systems. There is also a broader signal embedded in this move. When a global firm commits resources, leadership, and long-term planning to a city, it sends a message: confidence has been earned. This is not a trial. It is a commitment. It reflects belief in the durability of the financial framework, the consistency of policy, and the seriousness of intent behind Dubai's rise as a global hedge fund hub. Expansion is never about abandoning what works. It is about strengthening it. A Dubai presence complements existing operations by extending reach, increasing resilience, and sharpening competitive edge. In modern markets, proximity is power. Proximity to capital, to information, and to opportunity. Ultimately, this expansion represents a philosophy. The future belongs to those who move with conviction. Those who wait for certainty arrive late. Those who invest in momentum help create it. Dubai is building the future of global finance in real time, and expansion into this market is not a reaction. It is leadership in motion. Financial centers are not born from ambition alone. They are built through consistency, credibility, and the quiet discipline of doing things right over long periods of time. What we are witnessing in Dubai is not a sudden rise driven by headlines. It is the result of deliberate planning, structural reform, and an understanding of what global capital actually needs to thrive. For a city to become a true financial hub, it must earn trust. Investors do not chase slogans. They follow systems that work. Dubai has focused on creating an environment where rules are clear, institutions are accountable, and capital can move efficiently without unnecessary friction. That clarity matters. In an industry where confidence can evaporate in seconds, predictability is a competitive advantage. What separates Dubai from many aspiring financial centers is execution. Policy decisions are not theoretical. They are implemented with speed and precision. Regulatory frameworks have been designed to attract sophisticated institutions, not short-term speculation. This sends a powerful signal to global markets. This is a place built for serious capital, long-term strategies, and institutional scale. The city has also understood something fundamental. Modern finance is global by default. Capital flows across borders instantly, and financial hubs must reflect that reality. Dubai has positioned itself as a neutral, internationally connected platform where firms can operate across regions without being constrained by outdated structures or fragmented oversight. That global orientation is not a luxury, it is a necessity in today's markets. Equally important is infrastructure. A financial hub cannot function without world-class systems, legal, technological, and logistical. Dubai has invested heavily in all three, from advanced digital platforms to modern financial courts and dispute resolution mechanisms. The foundation is designed to support complexity at scale. This reduces operational risk and allows firms to focus on what truly matters: performance, innovation, and disciplined risk management. Talent is another critical pillar. Financial centers rise or fall based on the people they attract. Dubai has created an environment that appeals to highly skilled professionals from across the world, individuals who bring diverse perspectives, deep expertise, and a global mindset. This ration of talent fuels competition, innovation, and higher standards across the ecosystem. When the best minds gather in one place, the entire market becomes sharper. There is also a strategic patience embedded in Dubai's approach. Becoming a global hedge fund hub is not about replacing existing centers overnight. It is about complementing them, offering an alternative that is efficient, forward-looking, and resilient. Dubai has not tried to copy anyone else's model. It has built its own, one designed for the realities of 21st century finance. What we are seeing today is validation. As more major institutions establish a presence, the ecosystem deepens, liquidity increases, expertise compounds, confidence reinforces itself. This is how financial hubs are truly formed, not through announcements, but through sustained participation by firms that demand excellence. Dubai's trajectory is clear. It is no longer asking to be included in global finance. It is earning its place through structure, discipline, and long-term vision. And in markets, those are the qualities that endure. Timing in global markets is never accidental. The difference between success and irrelevance often comes down to understanding when to act, not just where. We are living in a moment where financial markets are being reshaped by speed, technology, and constant volatility. In such an environment, positioning matters, and timing matters even more. The decision to expand now reflects a clear-eyed view of how the world has changed. Markets no longer move in isolated cycles. Events in one region ripple across continents within seconds. Risk does not wait. Opportunity does not pause. Firms that operate on yesterday's timelines find themselves reacting instead of leading. Strategic timing, therefore, is about building presence before demand peaks, before competition crowds the field, and before inefficiencies disappear. Dubai's rise coincides with a broader realignment of global capital. Investors are diversifying geographically, seeking stability, access, and flexibility in an uncertain world. Traditional assumptions about where capital must be deployed are being challenged. This shift is not theoretical. It is visible in flows, mandates, and long-term allocations. Establishing operations at this moment is about aligning with that reality rather than chasing it later. There is also a structural advantage in acting early. Being among the first major institutions to scale in a growing financial center allows influence over standards, talent development, and market practices. Early movers help shape the ecosystem instead of adapting to it after it has hardened. That influence compounds over time and creates long-term strategic leverage that cannot be replicated by late entrants. Time zones are another underappreciated factor. Modern finance is continuous. Markets open, close, and reopen across the globe with no meaningful downtime. A strategically placed office allows decision-making, risk assessment, and execution to occur around the clock. That continuity improves responsiveness and reduces exposure during periods of heightened volatility. In an era where minutes can define outcomes, coverage is not a convenience, it is a necessity. The timing also reflects confidence in the durability of the environment. Short-term moves are reactive, long-term expansions are deliberate. Acting now signals belief that the regulatory framework, economic vision, and institutional support will persist through cycles. It is an acknowledgement that this is not a temporary window, but a structural shift in how global finance operates. Technology amplifies the importance of timing as well. Advanced trading systems, data analytics, and electronic markets reward firms that integrate seamlessly across regions. A presence established today can be built with modern infrastructure from the ground up, free from legacy constraints. That creates efficiency advantages that are difficult to retrofit later. Strategic timing is ultimately about conviction. Waiting for perfect clarity is a luxury markets rarely offer. The most consequential decisions are made when evidence is strong, momentum is visible, and the direction is clear, even if uncertainty remains. Acting at that moment separates leaders from followers. This expansion reflects an understanding that the next phase of global finance is unfolding now, not years from now. Those who recognize it early gain position, resilience, and influence. Those who hesitate spend the future catching up. Timing, when combined with discipline and vision, becomes a competitive edge, and that edge defines long-term success. Capital is always in motion, but it does not move randomly. It moves toward environments that respect it, protect it, and allow it to compound over time. What we are seeing today is not a temporary relocation of firms or a passing trend. It is a structural migration driven by logic, efficiency, and long-term strategy. When capital changes direction at scale, it signals a deeper transformation underway across the global financial landscape. Institutions are reassessing where they operate and why. The criteria are becoming clearer: regulatory clarity, political stability, access to talent, and the ability to operate without unnecessary friction. Locations that meet these standards attract serious players. Those that do not gradually lose relevance. This migration is not ideological, it is pragmatic. Dubai has positioned itself at the center of this shift by creating a framework that welcomes global institutions while maintaining strong oversight. It has achieved a balance NY markets struggle to find. Rules are transparent, expectations are consistent. Engagement with regulators is constructive rather than adversarial. For firms managing complex strategies and large pools of capital, that balance is critical. Another force behind this migration is efficiency. Financial firms operate in a world of tight margins and intense competition. Every layer of complexity adds cost and risk. Dubai's ecosystem has been designed to reduce both. Streamlined processes, modern infrastructure, and integrated services allow firms to focus on performance rather than bureaucracy. Over time, those efficiencies translate into meaningful competitive advantages. Talent migration follows capital. Professionals gravitate toward markets that offer opportunity, stability, and a high standard of living. Dubai has become a global destination for experienced financiers, technologists, and risk specialists who want to operate on an international stage. This concentration of talent reinforces the city's appeal, creating a self-sustaining cycle of growth and expertise. There is also an important diversification element at play. Concentration risk is not limited to portfolios, it applies to operations as well. Firms that rely too heavily on a single region expose themselves to regulatory shifts, political changes, and systemic shocks. Expanding into alternative hubs, spreads that risk and increases resilience. Migration in this sense is not an escape. It is risk management at the institutional level. What makes this movement particularly significant is its permanence. Temporary offices can be opened anywhere. Long-term commitments signal confidence. As more global firms establish lasting footprints, the ecosystem deepens. Service providers scale up. Market liquidity improves. Best practices emerge. This is how new financial centers are built, through sustained participation by institutions that demand excellence. The broader message is clear. The global financial system is evolving, and geography is becoming more flexible. Firms are no longer anchored by tradition alone. They are guided by data, outcomes, and strategic alignment. Dubai's rise within this migration reflects a reality that markets cannot ignore. In the end, capital chooses environments that understand it. It rewards discipline, foresight, and adaptability. The migration we are witnessing is not a rejection of the past. It is an investment in the future. And those who recognize this shift early position themselves where momentum is strongest and opportunity is most durable. Financial ecosystems are ultimately measured by their ability to convert opportunity into lasting capability. It is one thing to attract attention. It is another to build depth. What defines a mature financial center is not the number of firms it hosts, but the strength of the infrastructure, the quality of the talent, and the discipline of the systems that support complex decision-making at scale. Dubai's evolution reflects a clear understanding of this principle. The focus has not been on rapid expansion for its own sake, but on constructing an environment where institutions can operate with confidence over decades. Infrastructure has been designed to meet institutional standards, from advanced trading connectivity and secure data frameworks to legal systems capable of handling sophisticated financial disputes. These foundations matter because they reduce uncertainty and elevate performance. Talent development is equally critical. Markets do not outperform, people do. A financial hub becomes powerful when it attracts individuals who combine technical excellence with global perspective. Dubai has invested heavily in becoming that magnet. Professionals are drawn not only by opportunity, but by the ability to work within a system that values merit, efficiency, and long-term thinking. As this talent base grows, it raises the bar for the entire market. The presence of leading institutions accelerates this process. When global firms commit resources and leadership to a region, they bring standards, processes, and expectations that strengthen the ecosystem as a whole. Local teams gain exposure to world-class practices. Service providers evolve to meet higher demands. Knowledge transfer becomes continuous. Over time, this creates a self-reinforcing cycle of sophistication and capability. Infrastructure and talent together form leverage. They enable faster decision-making, better risk assessment, and more resilient operations. In volatile markets, resilience is not optional. Systems must function under pressure. People must execute with precision. Dubai's approach has been to design for stress, not comfort, an approach that aligns closely with the realities of global finance. There is also a long-term multiplier effect. As the ecosystem matures, innovation follows. New strategies emerge. Technology adoption accelerates. Collaboration between institutions, regulators, and academia increases. This dynamic environment attracts even more capital and expertise, deepening liquidity and improving market efficiency. Growth becomes organic rather than engineered. Importantly, this progress extends beyond individual firms. A strong financial ecosystem contributes to economic diversification, knowledge transfer, and regional integration. It creates pathways for future generations of professionals and establishes a durable role in the global financial system. These outcomes do not happen overnight. They are built through consistent investment and disciplined execution. The true measure of success will be endurance. Financial centers are tested not in periods of expansion, but during moments of stress. Infrastructure, talent, and governance determine whether a system holds or fractures. Dubai has been preparing for that test by focusing on fundamentals rather than optics. In the long run, markets reward environments that combine ambition with structure, where vision is supported by capability, where growth is matched by discipline. The impact of building such an ecosystem extends far beyond the present moment. It shapes the future of global finance in a way that is both sustainable and decisive. And now let me leave you with this thought, because this is where most people stop listening and where the real ones lean in even closer. History never announces itself in real time. The biggest financial shifts don't arrive with alarms or applause. They arrive quietly through decisions made behind closed doors, through capital moving before headlines catch up, through conviction that doesn't need validation. By the time the world agrees that something has changed, the winners are already positioned. What you're witnessing right now is not an ending, it's a beginning, a signal that the balance of global finance is adjusting, not violently, not suddenly, but permanently. The map is being redrawn, and the ink is still drying. Those who understand this moment will speak about it years from now as the point where everything started to make sense. Most people will scroll past this, hear it, and move on, unchanged. But a few will pause, a few will connect the dots, a few will realize that power doesn't shout, it moves. And when it moves, it leaves clues for those paying attention. So don't just watch this story, study it, because the future doesn't belong to the loudest voices or the fastest reactions. It belongs to those who recognize momentum early and have the discipline to respect it. Stay sharp, stay curious, and remember, the biggest opportunities never ask for permission. They arrive quietly, and they reward only those who were listening until the very end.